I'm going to be doing a new series of videos where I'm going to tell you about some arcade games from the past that I loved and that I remember very fondly. Now, I grew up in the 80s and I practically lived in the arcade. I went to my arcade at least once or twice a week. If I could have gone daily, I would have, but I grew up in the suburbs outside of the city, and I only went into town maybe once or twice a week. But anytime I went to town, I went to my arcade. I feel lucky to have grown up in the 80s. It was really a great time to be a kid. Nowadays, I have one arcade in my city. I hope you have at least one in your city, or hopefully many. Now, one game I absolutely loved was the Star Wars arcade game. It was released by Atari in 1983. It used 3D color vector graphics, and it basically made you feel like you were attacking the Death Star from the 1977 film. You could hear digitized samples of some of the voices from Star Wars. You could hear the voices of Luke, Obi-Wan, Darth Vader, Han Solo, Wedge, R2-D2, and Chewbacca. One of the things I recall loving about this arcade game was the sound. I recall the speakers in this thing being nice and loud. This has been called one of the greatest arcade games of all time, and I can totally see why. When I sat in this thing, I immediately felt I was whisked away and was plunked in the cockpit of an actual X-Wing fighter. I loved the yoke controller. It was so hands-on. There were 4 buttons, 2 were trigger style, and 2 that could be pressed by the thumbs. You basically could shoot at TIE fighters and gun turrets. You had 6 shields, and you lost a shield every time you were hit. Now, there were basically 3 phases in this game. Phase 1, you were in a dogfight with Darth Vader and other TIE fighters in space near the Death Star. Phase 2, you flew across the surface of the Death Star to reach the trench, and you were attacked by artillery bunkers and also laser turrets. The third phase, you would fly through the trench, trying to fire a proton torpedo into the exhaust port. Now, if you managed to destroy the Death Star, the game resets to the first phase, and gradually the playing gets more and more difficult. Now, this was Atari's top-selling arcade game of 1983. In that year, they produced 12,695 units. Very impressive. What I absolutely loved about this game when I was a kid was how immersive it was. I loved how every time I would sit in the cockpit, it would just immediately take me away. The sounds, the visuals, being right in there, immersed in that cockpit was so fun and so cool. It was just so escapist, and I loved it. And really, I think it was the first arcade game I ever experienced that was like that. I think it was the first game that I actually would sit in rather than standing up. And I absolutely loved that. The immersive quality of this game was fantastic. Thank you for watching. Hope you can join us again next time. And if you have a favorite arcade game, tell me, what was your favorite arcade game back in the day? Please leave a message, give us a thumbs up. We'd love to hear from you. And as always, please subscribe to the channel. I post new tech reviews every week and would love to have you join our family. Thank you very much. We'll see you again next time. Take care. Bye-bye.